Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is future special chapter number 5, and this one is titled Wedding. Jinny sat on the end of the bed, staring at her hands in her lap. Today was a big day. A massive day. She lifted her head and gazed at the beautiful white gown hanging from the closet door. Why am I so nervous? She thought as she wrung her hands together. It's just him. I know everyone here. I've done the practice run. There's no need to be scared, she mentally coached. You walked in and saw her sitting there alone. As her eyes met yours, you knew. Oh, honey, you whispered sympathetically. Jinny started tearing up. Sweetheart, you'll be fine, you purred. Don't be scared. Daddy will be with you, and I'll be in the front row giving you big smiles, okay? You just look at me if you get worried. Jinny nodded. Okay, she said softly. You helped her get her beautiful white dress on and adjusted the sparkly silver tiara in her hair. Now, the makeup ladies are waiting for you, my sweet, so run along quickly to them and I'll see you in the church, okay? Jinny nodded again and picked up the front hem of her dress and hastily ran to the makeup station. Later, she stood nervously with her father at the entrance of the closed doors of the church, her heart pounding in her chest. Ready, sweet? He asked. She looked up at him and nodded. Okay, I'm going to be with you until the middle aisle of the church. Then you're on your own, okay? To the front, he said with a grin. You've got this. I know you'll do amazing. Just then the church doors were opened and the stately music started. The first person Jinny saw was Chi in his black tuxedo. Oh, she looks pretty, she thought as she locked eyes with him and started walking slowly beside her father. Flowers, her dad whispered, and she suddenly remembered her job. She reached into the basket with her tiny 6-year-old hands and pulled out some rose petals, tossing them delicately in front of her as she walked. Great job, Jin, Kiri whispered excitedly. That's perfect. Okay, baby, you're on your own now. Look at Mummy. Jinny locked eyes with her mum and kept walking slowly and tossing flowers, her eyes straying to her Uncle Denki, who was standing next to the minister. He flashed her his usual signature smile and shot her a thumbs up, which made her almost giggle. I wonder if Auntie Kairi looks pretty in her wedding dress, she thought. Her eyes strayed to Soshi, standing just a little behind Chi. She smiled. Soshi smiled back and nodded to her, letting her know she was doing a good job. Finally her basket was empty of petals, and she climbed the steps and stood next to the other bridesmaids, breathing a sigh of relief that she had finished her most important task. She glanced quickly at the boys again and met Soshi's loving gaze. She blushed and gave him a little wave. He smiled shyly and gave her a quick wave back. Chi and Kami were already looking down the aisle to where Kairi had started her walk. Kairi looked stunning. Her medium-length blonde hair was pulled back slightly on one side and she had a flower wreath adorning her as a crown. Jinny gasped. Auntie Kairi looked amazing. She stole a glance at Uncle Denki, and he was tearing up as he watched his beautiful bride approach him. Kairi's dress was a figure-hugging, off-the-shoulder cut, and it looked a mixture of stylish and modest. Uncle Denki was a lucky man to have such a pretty wife-to-be. Good old Denki had waited 6 years to make Kairi truly his, and he couldn't have been happier. The rest of the ceremony went well, and Jinny's nerves melted away as the evening progressed. Jinny even danced with Soshi and Chi later that night at the reception, and at the end of the night, when Kiri finally found the three of them, they'd fallen asleep, curled up in the corner, with Jinny sandwiched between Chi and Soshi. Chi had his arms wrapped protectively around her from behind as she slept on Soshi's chest. The little white-haired boy had his tiny hand interlaced with Jinny's. He must have waited until she'd fallen asleep, and then held her hand, a very content little smile gracing his sleeping face. Kiri smiled and turned to head back to where Bakugou and Todoroki were. He would let them know that he'd found the kids and that it was probably time to head home. But first, he wanted a picture. Oh, cute! Congratulations to Uncle Denki and Auntie Kairi and their wedding. Stay tuned for more one-shots coming soon. See you next Wednesday for the next one-shot.